R.S. Agarwal IAS, and we will continue our one topic discussion. On this 27th of October, we will be discussing that the Pakistan is still in the FATF grey list. Now, there is an article in The Hindu which has focus on this issue. So, it's better you read that article. Along with that, there is a little bit of extra that is required for you to understand it. So, this is what the topic is all about, and it is very important for your FATF is very important for your GS paper 2 also, paper 3 also, and related to internal security. Okay, and even it is very important for your GS paper 4 as well, relating to the ethics, and in ethics paper the international donors. Okay, so this becomes very important for that matter. So you better have a good idea on this, because in the mains exam, directly or indirectly question comes from this area. Okay, so let's start our discussion. Now first see why there is it in news. So Pakistan, which has put in the grey list by FATF, that Financial Action Task Force, in 2018, they are still in the after the review by the committee, or you can say the IC. There is one particular committee that is known as the International Cooperation Review Group. They review it, but after reviewing that, they are still kept Pakistan in the grey list. Now we will understand what is grey list, and then another extreme kind of a measure that taken by the FATF is the blacklist. Okay, so it is in the grey list, and what are the recommendations that has been provided, and what Pakistan has achieved so far, and what are the Pakistan is missing. So deadline is already attended, but after deadline was already done in January only, but it has given 4-month extension. Then it was also not achieved its whatever the action plan that has given. There is a 27-point action plan that is being provided by FATF to Pakistan to tackle with, or to improve their things. So for 4 months, but after this also it was reviewed, and it was reviewed last in June. Then again it was reviewed in the month of October, and it is found that the Pakistan is still cannot come out of that, although all the member country were present at that time except Turkey. Nobody has actually proposed the withdrawal of Pakistan from the grey list. Even China, US, Saudi Arabia has already they did not back the proposition, or the whatever the suggestions proposed by the Turkey. Okay, so in this way we will in the October, now the new committee that will be formed in February 2021. So they will again review it, and then they will give the decision whether the Pakistan is going to be in a grey list or not. Okay, so let's start our discussion. So first, why it is in the grey list, let's come to this point. FATF, why still in the grey list? FATF has asked the Pakistan swiftly take the complete full action by the plan of by February 2021, like we have discussed. So in that, FATF has issued 27-point action plan, putting the Pakistan in grey list in the June 2018. Now out of this, when International Cooperation Review Group has reviewed it, and it found that the Pakistan is actually this first thing is this 27-point plan is related to curbing the money laundering and terror financing. Okay, these were the two main broader area in which this all the 27 point was given to them. After this, you can say almost 2 years, the Pakistan the ICRG group has reviewed it. It is an internal group of it is a part of Financial Action FATF, and it is an internal committee that look after the risks of the jurisdiction. What are the recommendations, what are the actions taken by the concerned country on which it is given. And it found that the Pakistan has completed 21 point, but there is still 76 point that has not been completed. Although the Pakistan has improved a lot over a time, but it has not delivered in all the 27 points. That is the reason it is still in the grey list. Now let's see where Pakistan lack effective to deliver. First thing is it lack action against the non-profit organization that has a link with the terrorist organization that is banned by the United Nations General Council. So it does not have all the terror financing. Even we have seen that openly that terrorist organization is raising a fund from the publics in the Pakistan. So, and even there are the many NGOs and all that which were religious background, and they were financing the terrorist organization, and the list has been provided by the UN, but they are not taking a proper action on that. So this is the one thing. Second is there's a delay in prosecution of the important individuals and entities that is not being done, like Lashkar-e-Taiba chief like Hafiz Saeed, Lashkar-e-Taiba, again operational chief like Zakir Rahman Lakhvi, and then Jaish-e-Mohammed Mazur Asad. Although Mazur Asad has been convicted, but they have not taken the proper action on that, and it should be taken very soon. Okay, now Pakistan was non-compliant on tracking down the also the narcotics and the smugglings that is being done through the mining of the precious stone. Now you all know that Pakistan fall in the Golden Crescent angle, which is very famous for drug trafficking. Okay, drug trafficking, that is Golden Crescent, Afghan, Pakistan, then via India, Nepal, then reach up to Maldives and Bhutan, then goes to the Southeast Asian. So it belongs to the Golden Crescent part, and it is not very effectively controlling it. And nowadays we have seen that the terrorist organization has found it, and even in the Afghanistan also, the Taliban group, the terror outfit, the terror wing of that, it actually found a new avenue where they can fund their raise their fund, that is through a drug cartel, drug trafficking. So they grow opium and all that, they smuggle that. Okay, it is a route from the Pakistan, it went up to the Southeast Asian countries. Okay, so this is basically very important, and they are not able to trace that also to punish it. They are not able to have a proper crackdown on that. Okay, so these are the problems that the country is still facing. It is not possible to put, with such a grave problem, to put in the green list, or remove from the grey list also. So finally, let's see about the Financial Action Task Force. So if you see the Financial Action Task Force history, so it was there was a summit held of G7 countries in 1989, and Financial Action Task Force has established by that. Okay, the task force belongs to 7 G7 members and 1 European Union Commission that belongs to the 8 countries, and 8 countries differently. So altogether we will see that there are 39 members right now in the Financial Action Task Force, comprising 2 regional organizations, that is European Union Commission and Gulf of along with this 39 member, including that means 37 members plus 2 regional organizations. Okay, that approximately Gulf of Council and European Union are also part of it. India has become full member in 2010. Okay, so this is what it backed by the G7 summit, and it has been created. Now you can see the secretariat, the headquarters is in Paris. It is very important for the prelims. Decision making body like FATF plenary is a decision making. It is a committee which take the decisions on which country to be put in this grey list and which country should be removed from the grey list. It meets 3 times every year, and like February, June, and the month of end like November and October, November, so something like that. So it kindly remember that it means 3 times a year. Plenary action, FATF plenary is a decision making body that is being comprised, and there is many observer country along with that. So remember that also. Now there are the 2 important list of FATF. One is a grey list, and one is a black list. Now grey list is actually a country which is considered as a safe haven for funding, for terror funding or money laundering. Okay, so FATF put such country in the grey list, but it might not be a source of origin of the fund, or it might be just via transitionary fund. Okay, so cannot be a source of origin of the terror fund, or you can say the money laundering, but can be a country of a country in transition of that particular activity. Okay, so it also serves as a preliminary warning that can be put into the blacklist. Otherly, technically it is understand the grey list jurisdiction under increased monitoring, means that the monitoring has been increased over a time in this country. Okay, whenever you put in the grey list, you will be provided with certain kind of action plan that has to be taken by you to curb the money laundering and terror financing. Okay, then there is a blacklist, a country which is considered completely non-cooperative in curbing the money laundering and terror financing, put in the blacklist. Okay, so there are only two countries such as North Korea and Iran. They are completely non-compliance with the recommendation that has been given by the FATF. Okay, so basically these are the countries which does not care about the international efforts about the terror financing and all. So we have a two country in this. Now what FATF actually do? The Financial Action Task Force generate necessary political will, okay, to bring out national legislation and the regulatory framework so that the money laundering and terror financing can be effectively curbed in the country. Okay, they actually facilitate with the legislation, policy and many other things and persuade the government to have a better legislation and very effective legislation for that matter. सबसे important, it does not take roles in the law enforcement matter. First thing, law enforcement matter does not take any role, even not in investigation also, or not even in the prosecution also, but it only does the monitoring and reviewing that particular action plan that is being provided. Second is FATFs not form as a formal international organization, like we have G7, many others country like G20, many other country like Gulf of Council, so many SARC. It is not a formal organization, it is an informal organization, and countries used to fund, the member countries used to fund it so that the temporarily it can function, it have its own function on that matter. Okay, so it is like a temporary funding is being provided to them. So it also does not address the issue related to the low tax jurisdiction and tax compliance. Like we all know the term tax haven countries. So it does not provide that also in that case. Okay, it does not have any relation with the tax matter. So kindly make this clear. You might get a question in the exam. Okay, then financial mandate focus only on fight against money laundering of the proceeds of the crime and financing of the terror. Now this has been included weapon of mass destruction also, and also included a newly arise problem like a cryptocurrency, virtual problem like cryptocurrency problem. Okay, right. So these are the also recently added inputs in this Financial Action Task Force. Okay, it doesn't prevent. And now what are the consequences on the Pakistan of this particular that the initiative has been taken by it has not been removed from the grey list. So what will be the consequences on Pakistan? First, the Pakistan is facing a very tough economic situation, and within this tough economic situation, and already it was facing a very huge, very critical economic condition. In spite of that, they were able to have a deal with China for CPEC, but in spite when CPEC was in operation, there was a problem that the pandemic has worsened the economic condition of Pakistan. So they were not able to extremely difficult for getting the financial aids, especially from very important institutions like IMF, World Bank, European Union, Asian Development Bank and many other world institutions which provide the funds at the low interest. so it will not be having a low interest, even because the interest rate might goes up for this country when you are put in a gray list and the black list. So this is the one very difficult situation for the Pakistan. It will further enhance the problem of a nation which have a difficult economic situation. So we have already discussed that. It will also have a very important, even the political scenario will change. Political scenario will also change in Pakistan. Might be favoring, people might be favoring military at that time, because the economic situation more worse over a time. So what Pakistan doing to achieving such 27-point plan? Pakistan is facilitating the Afghan peace deal. Yes, it is heavily facilitating the Afghan peace deal. Even the intra-Afghan talk, that is an ongoing process between Afghan and Taliban, Afghan government and Taliban, it is highly brokered or negotiated or facilitated by the Pakistan, so that the Taliban organization get into the politics, and more number of it get safe from the clutches of the Taliban organization, terror outfit. And even although it is a political unit, some consider as a political, some consider, even Taliban has a strong connections with the terror organization. That is very important. So after negotiating with the helping Taliban to have a peace deal they were able to make a peace deal with America. Then now government is actually engaging into it in total. So it is a very good initiative. Eventually it has to give a rigorous FATA action plan. The Pakistan would realize that in that only clear the action will free it from the FATA, not by lobbying from the different countries and getting listing out from, because nowadays the current situation in the global is like there is a huge shift in it. China is actually having Pakistan is not getting more support from the US, and China is also backing to some extent to the Pakistan. Now new friend that arrived for the Pakistan is Turkey. Turkey has proposed the withdrawal of Pakistan, but it is not seconded or support. This proposal is not supported by any other allies. So there is a little bit of global situation is very unfavorable for the Pakistan. So it is Pakistan has only hope that it take all the necessary step to move out from the gray list. Okay. Now what is the India's stand on this? So India says that the Pakistan continue to be a safe haven for the terrorist entities and individuals, and Pakistan has also yet not taken action against the terrorist organization, entities and individuals, including what is being prescribed by UNC like Masood Azhar, Dawood Ibrahim, Zakir Rahman Lakhvi and all that. So India needs to that the Pakistan should take proper initiative to curb its this terrorist organization. Okay. So I hope, thank you very much for today.